Hey guys, we're just waiting for a few people to jump on and then we'll kick the call off very soon. Exactly 2 minutes to go, guys. We're going to get started off. 30 seconds to go, guys.
Okay, hope everyone is good. First things first, welcome to the Winning Edge call. And want to be able to just say congratulations to you for making the effort to jump on today's call, today's webinar. And I'm in Cape Town, South Africa right now. I got the chance to fly in about 2 days ago, and I'm flying out tomorrow. But I just and a half hours, 90 minutes. It's just going to be you and I. And I'm going to talk about something that most people, everyone could use in any aspect, whether you're working for someone or whether you're working for yourself, and how you can utilize it to the fullest. And from that onwards, I'm going to open up the lines, and I want to make it a very, very, very open where for Q&A. I'm going to do 2 Q&As, and I'm going to basically do a very open conversation where I'm going to be answering a lot of questions based on that topic. And I want to basically share with you some knowledge first before we kick it off. So as we speak right now, closing a deal is vital. It's vital to the point of whether you're working for a company or whether you own your own company, but closing is vital. And the problem is people have a fear. They have a fear of rejection. There's a book called Go for No, GOFORNO, Go. And it states after the 4th no, 96% of the world quits. They quit whatever they set themselves to achieve. Sadly, when you chase the no's, you got to understand the odds are stacked against you to the point where there is always more no's than yeses. You're going to go through more rejections than people are actually accepting. The minute you program your mind, the minute you that it's truly a game of numbers, eventually it starts to change. So throughout this entire call, I'm going to talk about a lot of that I've added to this call, but I want to basically and start the call off with closing deals. There's various different can close, and there's various different ways to close. Let's talk about the different ways to close before we talk about getting into a script or getting into a specific deal that you want to close. So you can do a telephonic call and you can close deals. Now more than ever, most people are closing deals over the phone. There's physical face-to-face interaction when you're closing in a physical meeting. There's also text closing. Social media today, it's ridiculous on how you can set people up to go and buy something. And it's all about call to action. So you're doing a call to action to pique their interest, to lure them in, and then you get them to actually understand what you're selling. And most people give a bit of bait, a little bit of a free or taste, a freemium version or taste of what they're offering, and they lure you in, and eventually you bite. And it's not, I don't want you to look at closing as fishing, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're going to take something out of the ocean and you're literally letting go of one, let's just say something that's important to mankind. Because at the end of the day, people get so scared about closing that they feel it's a bad thing. They feel like closing is actually closing a deal is it's something that's hurting society. What people need to understand, you're either closing a deal or you're either more 100 closing people based that's going to be benefiting you or for your company, rather than you going out and closing for someone else. So ABC, write this down if you're taking our notes. ABC, always be closing. ABC, always be closing. You always want to be in control. You always want to make sure you're ahead of the game. And when you start to realize that you're ahead of the game, you're going to understand that there's no one that's in control besides you. The problem here with closing is you write your own checks. You literally have to write your own checks. So if you don't go to work, well, guess what's going to happen? You don't get paid. But if you don't make those calls, if you don't close those people, if you don't pick up the phone and meet more people, then I will guarantee you right now, you're going to be underpaid. And when you underpaid, it's like, imagine an artist, a musician who knows he's got talent. But the problem here is they don't have gigs lined up. So they're not generating money. So then they have the music record label to go out there and actually cover their confidence by paying their bills for them. So they're not living under pressure. I'm going to give you 6 effective sales techniques right now that's going to help you. I need you to identify the decision maker. I need you to identify the decision maker to know who is the person that's who are you closing. So understand that no matter what industry you're in, knowing the decision maker is crucial to a quick close. And you've got to understand that many times the decision maker will send someone else into the fire to learn all of the information. And they can know about your company way before they even walk in. They will. If this is the case, then to be sure to put yourself into the head of decision making, I need you to understand, I need you to customize your sales pitch to each and every different person. How you close a girl is very different to how you close a guy. It's the same script, but maybe you can be more aggressive. She could be a bit more assertive. Also, I want you to understand, number 2, I want you to be real. I want you to be real when you're closing. Be yourself. Don't go into robotic mode. People go into robot mode where they try act like someone different. The way they talk changes. Their tonality is not natural. It comes across as this is a sales pitch, and you don't want to be under the influence of sales. You want to make it flow naturally. And then you also want to create a sense of urgency. You want to make sure that it's an urgent, efficient process. You're in, you out. Imagine closing one person for 24 hours when you knew you can close 24 people for 24 hours. So you want to create that sense of urgency. Maybe you want to attach a deadline to the deal to help give the client an incentive, or you want to push them to make a decision. Closing is all about pushing people in the right direction to make a decision, whether it's a yes or whether it's a no. That's all you're looking for. Overcome the objection whilst you're closing. You need to understand, as you start to move on, as you're closing this deal, you're overcoming all the objections. You're closing people based on money. Majority of the times, it's all about the money. I can't buy this because I can't afford it. So you're closing. Why do they need it? Sell them on value. Sell them on why they need it and not why you need to make money off the deal. And then the fifth point is you need to know your competition. You need to know what's around you. You need to know what other people are selling at what price. When you start to identify all of these things, you start to identify what your USP is. And a USP is your unique selling point. When you start to identify what your unique selling point is, what starts to happen is you put yourself ahead of everyone else and you know what you can offer rather than what they're already offering. And then number 6, watch what you say. Don't put your foot in your own mouth. Keep it to the point and focus on your areas of expertise. You want to heal but you also want to be professional. You don't want to be a beggar. You want to be the hunter rather than the hunted. You want to be, someone that's being begged rather than you begging for them to buy. So those 6 ways on how you can make your closing techniques more efficient and you can seal that deal. Now, does the price change if you're selling $1,000? It doesn't change. The way you sell something is how you need to be sold first before you sell. I see so many people out there that they're not sold. They haven't bought into their own product. They haven't bought into their own company, yet they're pushing it on someone else. I mean, personally, it's very difficult for me to go sell about 5, 6, or 7 of my companies simultaneously because I don't want to look like that jack of all trades. I want to be able to focus on a niche gap, on a niche market. So I might hire people who have the expertise in that field and then compensate them and go, and they're probably going to do it as good as me or if not better, because it's all about trial and error until you find a formula that works for you. So I'm teaching you formulas right now, but at the same time, I'm teaching you formulas that work for me. You can borrow it, you can absorb it, you can apply it, but until you find your own formula that actually works for you. So I'm going to teach you 4 highly effective sales closing techniques that are popular with sales reps today. So I want you to understand what the assumptive close is. So write that down, the assumptive close. ASSUMPTIVE, the assumptive close. Okay, this technique involves using a phrase or language that assumes the close. So it assumes it. It's like a done deal way before you even walk in. You're assuming what they need. You're assuming it as if you're bringing it to the table way before, because you know what they need. They need a new cell phone. They need a new laptop. They need to travel more. They need this. It's like oxygen. You're trying to sell oxygen to someone that needs it. They need it. You can't convince someone when they need it. So, and it makes it much more easier. Good. Or the service is good because it's not. So the assumptive close. Then you get the option close. Okay. And the option close is similar to the assumptive close, but rather than, asking a prospect or a guest directly, you ask them which option they prefer. Do you want this membership or do you want this membership? Do you want the basic or do you want the more detailed one? Do you want silver or do you want diamond? Okay. And then the third close is something called the suggestion close. So the suggestion close, you've got to understand, if you have a good rapport with the prospect and they view you as a trusted expert, a suggestion close is a good approach. You could close, based on what you have told you told them about their what they told you about their operations. So maybe, for example, I would suggest you receive orders on Fridays. Does this work for you? So simple stuff, but you're giving a suggestion. You're giving a suggestion based on your credibility. Then you got something called a urgency close. I talked about that before, but you're closing based on urgency. So it places pressure on the prospect to decision, especially if you have identified that the client needs to make a decision quickly and is working on a short timeline. So it's crazy when someone needs something ASAP, you got them in control. So those are 4 different methods or 4 different understandings of the different closings out there. Now, some closing tips. So people need to ask. You need to ask so you have a sense of where they are before you even suggest. Most people don't have that assumptive, close technique dialed in because they don't have any clue on what the problem is. You're always solving a problem. You're always solving a problem. And that's why when you close, you're solving a problem in people's daily life. Most people don't understand. There's always problems happening out there in the real world. And the easiest thing out there right now is if your product solves a problem, then it's easier to shift them. So what are some of the closing questions that you can ask? But first, I want you to understand what is a closing question. So the final closing questions is a part of a topic. And it's a topic, it's part of the entire conversation. But some people are smart enough to lure them in and understand the final question in the beginning. Some people in the middle, some in the end. It's totally up to you. But at the same time, there's different closing sales. There's different closing styles on how you close people. I'm going to open up the line. I want to be able to ask questions on live questions. Tell me your product. Tell me your you selling, and I'm here to help you close that deal. I'm here to help you make that, create a statement that best works for you, that best works for your company, that best works for your product. But also at the same time, every single rep, sales rep should know certain things. The now or never close. You need to learn that. There's something called an option close, and I talked about it, giving the options. But we'll go more into that in more detail very soon. I want to open up the lines, and at any given time, please step in and talk to me. What is your product? What is your price line? What are you selling? How can I help you create the perfect pitch to sell? I don't want to be able to ask or unmute someone. So before I do that, feel free to open up the line. Feel free to talk to me. Okay, we got Malika. Malika, do you want to quickly unmute yourself quickly?
Okay. Hello.
Okay, so you're in travel. Great. What's the price line of your product? Give me your cheapest product and give me your most expensive product. And I'm going to help you create the perfect pitch to close a deal. We're going to talk about objections after that.
Okay. The cheapest product in South Africa is $149, which is the gold. And then the most expensive one is $1,000, which is titanium.
Okay, cool. So Malika, let's just say you do this presentation. You go through this entire presentation, explaining everything. You're solving problems throughout the entire presentation. But at the end, you're going to ask a very simple question. You're going to ask the question, do you have $149 or do you have $1,000, and are you ready to get started first? And I want to pause right there because I want you to understand the person who talks after that, the person who talks first has lost. So if the prospect talks first, they've lost. They've lost because you've got them dancing to your music. But if you don't have them talking, then you are talking, and that means you're convincing. And if you're convincing, that basically means they've got you dancing to their music. Secondly, the reason why I'm asking the question from word go, because I want to clear out all objections. I don't want to go through things. I don't want to go around things. I want to go straight through it and find out, do you have the money? And if you don't have the money, let's find solutions to why they don't have the money. But if they do have the money, let's go straight into it. Let's close the deal. Let's ask the questions. And you'll probably notice there's a lot of objections that's going to pop up. There's always going to be objections when people, because once again, Malika, everyone's not going to have 149. Everyone's not going to have $1,000. It's just a fact. But at the same time, when you ask the question, $1,000 or $149, and people say, no, I don't have the money, well, great. Then you're identifying that they have a problem, and you now need to find the solution to not having 149 or 1,000. So I'm going to take a calculator, just pull my phone right here, and I'm going to take $150 and I'm going to times it by 365 days. So if they say divided by 365 days, so 1 divided by 365 is 41 cents a day. So you're literally going to have that objection in the back of your mind, and you're going to say, if they say I don't have the money, you're going to say, well, that's 41 cents a day. What you basically mean is you don't have 41 cents every single day for the whole year. Because now you want to humble them. Now you want to touch them emotionally. See, most people are emotional. And if you want to sell, it's all emotional. Unless you're trying to drive them logical, and they're going to think, and they think long, and they start to think wrong. And when they think wrong, they literally, you giving them so much of information to think. You're not giving them enough information to base a decision. I'm giving people enough information to base a decision and not to think, because one, I could be thinking about whatever in life, and once again, I don't want to put them in a position to think. By the way, guys, can you hear me clearly? Because it says your internet connection is not stable. Can you guys hear me clearly? Just give me a thumbs up in the chat bar if you can hear me clearly. Okay, let me connect to a different internet server. Just give me 1 second. That should be fine. I'm just connecting real. Chat bar on the bottom. I just changed to a different internet connection. Quickly type in. I got one person that said they can hear me. Can anyone else hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sounds good. So Malika, your product is basically a $149 product and a $1,000 product. And generally, what are some of the objections that show up to when you so is money one of them?
Yes, definitely money.
Okay. So mostly what is the most common one? Mostly money. Money, I want you to write that down. I want you to write down money, because that's when you do your entire your pitch. When you're pitching people, you want to walk in there knowing you've already got all your objections covered throughout your entire pitch. So write money there. What are some of your objections? Give me about 5 of your objections.
Time.
Okay, write that down. So money, time.
Age.
Age.
I had one lady say this is for youngsters, not for older people. And she's only 65.
Money, time, age. 2 more. Give me 2 more.
I'm trying to think. Kids.
Sorry?
They got kids and they don't have, they can't get away from.
They don't have time. Okay,
like
cool.
People looking after their kids.
Okay, but that falls under time.
Oh, okay.
So money, time, they too old or they too young, or okay. What else would you say? I need 2 more. I need 2 more, because we're gonna create a pitch for you around that, based on you're walking in there knowing you're covering those 5 objections.
Yeah, sometimes you get somebody that's like really excited, and then the husband or wife, it's like overnight
Significant
they
other?
change their mind. Yeah.
Okay. So significant other, write that down as well. Significant other. So maybe they need to speak to their significant other, or maybe.
And sometimes it's the parent, because I had one guy wanting to sign up. The mother said it's a pyramid, and there he was also gone.
Okay. Write that down. Write that pyramid scheme down as well. We're going to cover each and every one of them. So
Okay.
you create the perfect pitch that best works for you. Okay, so let's go through each and every one of them. You're going through your presentation. You're doing your own presentation right now. You're covering every single one of these points. You turn around at the end of your business deal and you start to ask them, do you have $149 or $1,000? And are you ready to get started first? Okay, are you ready to get started? When they say yes, welcome, great. Let's just say they say no. When they say no, what starts to happen is you're going to obviously pick up the objection. Once you pick up the objection, from that moment onwards, you're going to cover that objection. You're going to clear all those. You're going to clear those objections. So I've got this thing that it's a F, F, and F. Feel, felt, and found. It's a triple F, and it's a formula to every single closing. Feel, felt, found. So every single deal you ever closing, whether you're selling a $10,000 product, whether you're selling a $100 product, you're closing every single person based on F, F, and F, feel, felt, and found. So I know how you feel. I know how you feel. You're sympathizing with them because you know how you feel, okay? I felt the exact same way until I found out. I know how you feel. I felt the exact same way until I found out. And you share a story. You share a story. So let's just say, for example, I'm giving a typical example. I got a friend who sells a nutritional product. Okay, I know how you feel. I felt the exact same way until I found out that when someone took this specific product, this is how it impacted their life. This is how it impacted their health. So you could do this with your travel company as well. I know how you feel. I felt the exact same way until I found out. And then you can go straight into sharing one of your stories based on someone not having the time, and now because they did this, they have the time. Or based on maybe their age, and you want to always have stories backed up. So I walk into any business deal, because today I'm running multiple different companies and I'm always pitching people. And number one, why should they invest in my company? Or number two, why should they buy my product? So I'm trying to cover every single one of them, but I know my objections way before. Now you felt the exact same way until I found out. And then as I start to gain more confidence, as I gain more clarity, once I have more confidence and clarity, I can then start to shift in and talk about my own story or my own experience. Or when I'm sold, I can talk about my own experience. But once again, when you walk into a meeting with stories of people that have already benefited, it's very easy. It's very simple than you sharing your own story. And that's why you see every person that's selling a course online or they're selling a product online, what they start to do is they always have testimonials. They validate it. So maybe what you should do, Malika, would be easy, is maybe you should take a video with someone who you know has that specific story that covers the time, or that covers I don't have the money, or that covers a specific objection. You have that testimonial video and you keep it instead of calling people or instead of referring people, or maybe you want to just take a picture and you can refer to it. But I always want you to know, lying gets you nowhere. By covering up lies gets you absolutely nowhere. You want to make sure you have everything dialed in. Okay. So who on this call right now has a total different product? A different product that's not travel, a different product, so we can go and dig deep into that, so I want to be able to break that through and make you understand how it's so similar, whether it's a travel product or whatever you're selling. reach out to me in the chat bar. But whilst you're doing that, psychologically, just reach out to me in the chat bar and we'll unmute you and we can go through, if you own your own business in a conventional world, or maybe you have another business besides the travel space, I want to be able to open up the line and have a conversation with you. Service product. Reba Rise. Can we unmute Reba Rise? I'm going to do it. Reba Rise, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, Session.
Is that your name? Good, thank you, man. Is your name Reba? Reba.
Yes, it's Reba.
Nice to meet you, Reba. Where are you from? Where are you based?
I'm in Pretoria.
Sounds good. Thank you for jumping onto the Winning Edge call, Reba. So your service-based product, what is your service-based product? Give me an example. What industry is it in? Reba? Reba, I can't hear you. Reba, maybe if you can type, I can't hear you. I can hear everyone else though. There's some background sounds, but I can't hear you. If you can type. Fundraising idea. Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly. Okay, I'm gonna pitch right now. I got a driving school. I charge 6,000 Rand for my whole package. And then the objections I get is I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I have to go think about it. Someone else is doing it cheaper than you.
Okay.
Let me go home and talk to my parents about it. Let me go home and talk to my spouse about it. And yeah, basically negotiations all the time. So it's 150 an hour for a driving lesson. And then the guys want to say, no, I only have 120. And you know, you have to negotiate.
Two questions. Two questions, Reba. Number one, is it 6,000 once off or is it part payments?
It's once off.
Once off. Number two, do you have one package or is it multiple packages? Are you catering for different markets or are you just catering for one market?
There's different packages. So you have your bike license, your car license, your truck license, your heavy motor vehicle license.
What is your unique selling point? What are you unique about? What do you have that no one else offers out there? No other driving school offers.
I have a pass one, pass all policy.
Okay. So no other driving school offers that.
Competitions say they have 95% pass rate, and you know, so we have different unique selling.
Okay, I want you to start identifying what you have versus what your competitors have. So you are, because you got to understand, a lot of people are not just going to come to you and pay 6,000 Rand. They're going to go to multiple other places. They're going to research before they come to you. So they're walking into your meeting with them or your pitch, knowing that they're outside right now. There's multiple different options. They're playing the game of who's cheaper and not who's high quality, because at the end of the day, that's all they can see. Price, price, and price. Especially that you're living in Africa, the price is a huge factor. So that's the first thing. I want to always make sure you understand what your unique selling point is. And then I want you to understand that you need to cater for different markets. So 6,000 Rand might just be for a different market versus the guy who can only afford 2,000 Rand. So maybe you would want to split that 6,000 Rand package in half and maybe give him half the lessons that you would generally give, just to give him a taste of what it feels like to work with you. And then you draw him in the long run, and he pays a bit more than 6,000 Rand when he gets that credibility, because he's not going to pay half with you and then go pay someone else the full amount after that and restart. He'd rather pay you the rest of the 50%. Okay. Once again, someone says, Reba, I don't have the money. I don't have 6,000 Rand. Great. I know how you feel. I felt the same way until I found out this person right here, they attended my driving school. They didn't have the money. They made a plan to get the money. And today, guess what? They have their license. They could have wasted X amount of money going here, but they came straight to me. They paid $6,000. They made sure they learned what I taught them, and they passed on their very first try. Do you have those testimonials, Reba? Okay, I believe you muted. So you need to identify those testimonials. Once again, Reba, you need to maybe take videos. Guys, I need you to understand something. I need you to understand that you need to sell yourself way before you sell other people. You need to be sold on your own product, your own company, your own idea way before. When Givenchy wanted to sell me this, they sold me on their brand, but they were already sold. So how did they sell me? Other celebrities, other influencers, other people who we look up to, they were wearing something like this and they sold me on it based on that. I need you to leverage. You don't have to leverage of famous people. You don't have to leverage of credible people. You don't have to lie to make people buy into what you're doing, but you're your own brand and you're basically getting people to buy into you before they buy into what they need to, what they want. So Reba, they're buying into you as a driving salesman. Are you looking sharp? Do you have confidence? Do you have posture? Do you look like you know what you're doing? Is it cause you're working with high quality? The place you're working is the area, high quality. Is there credibility around there? That's what they're buying into. Or maybe you're catering for a different market and maybe that 6,000 Rand is a different market out there. I'm not sure but what the market is in that specific niche, but you need to be able to research fully. You need to be able to research fully on what is your competition and then base that price line. But remember something, guys, people can pay 6,000 Rand for your driving school. They can pay $1,000 for Malika's product. It's not about the price. If you sell the value, you win. If you sell the value, why do they need to buy it? What is the fear of loss? Once again, people buy emotionally and people justify logically and they buy emotionally. You want to sell them emotionally. I want you to picture this right here. Picture this. You're sitting in a meeting and you're trying to sell a cell phone. You're trying to sell the cell phone right here to the person so they can buy it for their significant other. Picture this right here. You're selling it to the husband for their wife. Okay? Wife is driving down on a road, dark road, late at night, got the kid in the back. No lights. Get to the end of the road. Battery's dead. Because she had a normal Nokia phone. Battery's dead. You sold them emotionally on what if they're driving down the road? What if your kid is in the back of the car? What if you got the cheapest phone out there and the battery dies so constantly there and frequently? What happens then? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Your kid's in danger. The wife is in danger. Everyone's in danger. You're selling based on emotion. You're not selling based on logical. Once again, people buy emotionally. I've seen people make compulsive decisions based on things they don't need. I've bought things, you've bought things, we've all bought things we don't need. But we bought it based on the moment. We didn't buy it based on, are we going to use it? So sell or be sold. ABC, always be closing. Feel, felt, found. Triple F formula. Write that down. Utilize that in every single thing you sell. And then also understand, go buy the book, Go for No. 96% of people fail. 96% of people quit after they fought no. Because all they hear is no, no, and no. And guess what? They think you're going to hear no's for the rest of your life. The darkest point of the day is just before sunrise. 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., people quit. So if they're quitting before sunrise, well, guess what happens? It takes a split second, the sun is up and it's light, and then guess what? You already quit. So don't quit on what you're doing because you're getting temporary no's, thinking it's going to be permanent no's. Branding yourself comes a long way. Marketing what you do comes a long way because that sells itself. And you're not going to appeal to everyone. You're not going to appeal to every single market, but you try have different levels. So when you have different levels, what starts to happen is you can cater for the entry level, or you can cater for the guy that just gets in, gets a taste and goes up. I see a lot of people giving a taste, a freemium version of what they're offering, a limited freemium version. So find out, Malika, what you can offer that's free, that lures people in. Find out, Reba, what you can offer that's a bit of a taste, that's free, or a cheaper version of what you can offer that just gets people in, lures them in. But also understand, psychologically, it plays a huge role when you're not psychologically aligned, when you're not mentally aligned, when you don't have that 80% psychological incline versus 20% of mechanics, knowing how to close, what to do, how to close, when to ask the question, etc. So you want to be able to be psychologically aligned, that go through the emotions. You're going to be emotionally tested. You're not going to be physically tested in sales. You're going to be emotionally tested. And when you're emotionally tested, what starts to happen is it's going to play on, it's going to play on your emotions. It's going to let you know, hey, the inner voice in you, why should you keep doing this? Why should you keep driving to work every single day, Reba, when you don't have any clients, when no one's buying into your driving school? Make sure you're sold. Make sure you're sold before you sell. So guys, we've come halfway through the call. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And in 5 minutes, at exactly 51 minutes past, I'm going to open up the lines again, and I'm going to talk about a total different topic so we can give you full value on this call. 5 minutes to go. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to get started off in about 20 seconds. In 20 seconds, we're going to kick it off. Okay, so for the next 45 minutes, I want to talk about two things. Number one, I want to talk about digital marketing, meaning you, your online marketing, your online brand, your online presence. And then I want to talk about creating your own story in life. So let's go first off and talk about creating your own story. And I quickly put together a PowerPoint, a quick PowerPoint. So let's go back. So we're making sure that you're a storyteller. We're making sure that you're a professional storyteller, and this is your blockbuster movie. You're creating your own Oscars-winning performance. So I'm sure every single one of you guys have either watched the movie or heard the movie Titanic, and where she sings really, really high and the ship goes really, really low. So we've all watched it. It's won multiple awards, but it had a storyline. It had a reason and a purpose and an ending behind it. So your story always has three parts. So firstly, it has a fight, it has a dream, and it has a script. And you're gonna go through a fight in life. It's always gonna happen. And generally it's your closest people, your closest circle of influence. There's always going to be that fight, and there's going to be a dream on what you want to get to achieve. In most movies out there, you can already tell the ending from the beginning or from the middle of the movie based on the fact that it's a timeline and it's leading you into the end. There's a good guy or bad guy, and there's always a script, and we'll talk about it and emphasize on each and every one of them. But this is me helping you create your own story in life. I'm sure you see this guy, you've heard of him, you know him. Sylvester Stallone, and this was taken from the movie Rocky. It's an uncredited, it was underpaid, scenes deleted, it was unappreciated, and I want to be able to read this for you quickly. So early in my acting career, I realized the only way I'd ever prove myself was to create my own script. And this is from Sylvester Stallone, because you got to understand, let's go back here. I want to share a story with you about Sylvester Stallone. So Sylvester Stallone, why was he underpaid? Why was he underappreciated? Because in the beginning, he wasn't the actor you see today. He wasn't the main actor. He was always behind the scenes. He was always doing things. And, we're creating a script for a boxing movie. I'm going to show you how to, how that can relate to you. Creating a script for, The Godfather, Jaws. When you look at Jaws, you're creating a script for that movie too. And it's insane to know how much of work comes into a 90-minute, 1.5-hour movie. But then most people are not willing to create a script for the entire life, 20, 50 years later. So what happens at the end of every movie? Very simple. There's this thing called credits, and generally it's in the beginning of the movie, who produced the movie, etc., and right in the end, who took part in the movie, who played a role. So this is called your list in life. This is called your list, your power of association. The people who you associated with, the people who are on this journey with you, the people who are running this race with you. They are literally on this path with you, and you're letting them into your movie. At the end of your movie, credits are going to pop up with their names. The main actor and the supporting actors is you. It's no one else. Okay, and then you give permission to who you want to play a role into your life and what role you want them to play. So when people disappoint you and you feel disappointed, but you led that expectation, you created that expectation because you gave them permission to enter your life, to take this task on and to let you down. Although it's a good letting down or a bad letting down, or maybe they proved you right or proved you wrong, but at the end of the day, you gave them permission. So, for example, you're auditioning. This is your audition list. You have 4 flat tires. Who are you calling in the middle of the night? Those are your closest 4 friends who deserve to be in your movie. And it doesn't have to be friends. It could be business partners. It doesn't have to be business partners. It could be family, or it could be both. It's very rare to find people that have more than 5 genuine friends. And how do you know you have genuine friends? Well, very simple. When you're writing down your list, you always ask yourself the question, have you ever spoke badly about them? Have they ever spoke badly about you? Because vice versa, if anyone spoke badly about each other, they're not your friend. You can't add them to the list. So once again, when you look at this is your credits, and you can see the music and lyrics by Frank Stallone. Frank Stallone, that's Sylvester Stallone's family member. And you sort of look at this, why is it the entire credits, there's only one Stallone in the entire credits? Well, very simple. People are going to talk behind your back. People are going to talk about you. People are always going to talk about you. If they're not talking about you, you've not given them a reason to talk. Right now, people are thinking about you and talking about you. They do it on the red carpet. Always give friends and family first opportunity to choose a role in your movie. Always, out of trust, out of loyalty. If they don't accept it, no problem. Okay, let's flip it around. Let's reverse the roles. If someone's creating their own script, if someone's creating their own movie, who would you call if you had 4 flat tires in the middle of the night? But let's flip it around. Who would call you? Who would call you if they had 4 flat tires at the middle of the night? Who would be calling you? Because they're adding you to their list, to their movie, to their credits. Well, guess what? You would need to do the exact same thing. Who is super competitive? Who is super competitive in life? And maybe this is a business decision, okay? Who wears hoop earrings and animal prints, depending on what business you're doing? Or maybe in your, so you're always writing down different scripts for different movies. Maybe it's a specific company. And maybe it's not just a company. Maybe it's your life, your friends list. Maybe it's a brand, whatever you're launching, okay? Who is sick and tired of their job, okay? I'm gonna skip this here. I'll skip this. I want to go straight into this right here. Let's look at this award-winning. Oh, by the way, when you try to approach people, when you're closing them, by the way, and when you're approaching your friends to be a part of a movie, don't accept it. Don't expect everyone to like what you do. Don't accept everyone to like who you're becoming, because who you're becoming in life, what starts to happen with that is you start to go against the grain. You're becoming someone that they're not. You're escaping the chains. And what starts to happen is you're going to have people that's going to be shocked. You're going to have people that's going to be, not excited for you. But this is award-winning performance, and it's going to need excitement, enthusiasm. You got to smile, you got to practice, etc. It's not like Star Wars where, at the end of the day, you've got to be so clear and concise. I want you to watch this motion right here. You're in the game. You're not worried about who's talking from the right and who's talking from the left. And I want to compare this to when you're running a marathon. There's always those people on the left and right when you're running a marathon in life. And those people in life are there to either watch if you're going to complete the race or watch if you're going to fail. There's always going to be those type of people in life. Okay, let's script all. Okay, this is your movie. Sylvester Stallone, when he took the script, he went door to door to 1,500 agent offices in New York City. 1,500. Some said yes, some said no. Some said they have to go. Some said you'll never make it in life. Some said you'll never succeed in life. So guess what he did? His first acting job was a thug. His first acting job was a thug. To think who he is right now. If you go to Google and you type in Sylvester Stallone, most people look at the Sylvester Stallone as today. They don't look at when he was a first actor, being a thug. I'm actually Googling his net worth. I want to prove to you how most people look at people based on their net worth today, based on what they have right now, and not based on their part of getting to where they are right now. $400 million. Sylvester Stallone is worth $400 million. Do you think he was worth $400 million when he was a thug in his first acting job? His wife was at home. She was not excited. She didn't celebrate him. She wasn't bought into the vision. So, Malika, when people say, my significant other does not support me, it's cool. You're not looking for everyone. You're looking for the chosen few who choose a better life. To the New York Public Library, and he was reading book after book after book. He pulled out a book by Edgar Poe, read it cover to cover that same night, went back home, sold his broke. So he was so broke, so he sold his jewelry, went to the liquor store, $25, he sold his dog for $25. Then he goes to the Ali Wepner fight, and during he watches the Ali Wepner fight. And whilst he's watching it, he's busy writing a script to a movie. Okay? He's watching the fight, he's writing the script. Same night, he wrote Rocky in 20 hours. Predictable. People told him he was stupid. People told him he'll never make it. They wanted him to act in the movie. When he tried to pitch agents the movie. They told him, hold on, you can't act in it. You can't own it. Maybe you can be the side guy, or you can be someone walking past. We can't give you the recognition. But the night after Oscars, guess who shows up? Muhammad Ali. The same fight that helped him create an award-winning performance. They offered him $125,000 for the movie, $250,000 for the movie. Then eventually, but they didn't want him to act in the movie. They were offering him for the script, but they don't want to say, hey, you got the main role. $35,000 plus acting. Goes back to the liquor store. $100 for the dog. He offers $100. They don't buy it. He offers $500. They don't buy it. He offers $1,000. They don't buy it. $15,000. And that dog that he sold initially, that dog today is actually in the movie Rocky. So I want you to understand right now, we're creating your story to life. We're creating who's in your script, who's the main actors, whether it's your business, whether it's your life, whether it's your brand, whatever it is, but you're creating an award-winning performance. We talk about 80% of life is psychological, and it's easier said than done. It's very easy for me to say to you that you need to be mentally strong. Very easy for me to say to you that you need to stay aligned. You need to draw 2 points, A and B, point A to point B, put a straight line in between, and the fastest way to get from A to B is a straight line. So travel in the straight line, but you're going to go off the straight line. People are going to take you off the game. People are going to hate on you. People are going to give you a detour. We all have this navigation system on our phone. We have a navigation system, a GPS, a Garmin system. And when you look at every navigation system, you kind of look at on the top, it always says duration. Then it says your route. It's highlighted. Then on top of that, it tells you how long it's going to take you towards your next turn. So I want you to psychologically in life, put in the coordinates, put in your final destination. But if you miss a turn, it's going to take you off route, and it's going to be a bit longer, and that's going to be a hater trying to take you out the game. Bad weather takes you out the game. Construction takes you out the game. Use those analogies to your life. People think it's always going to be a straight road. People think you're going to achieve everything you put your mind to. No, you're not. It's not going to be easy. People are going to get tested. I'm not just talking about a financial test. I'm talking about more beyond that, an emotional test. Life is an emotional race. It's emotional pain. It's not physical pain all the time, or you're not just going to physically feel it. It's all mental. So whilst we're on this point, I want to carve out another 20 minutes and talk to you a bit about digital. Talk to you about closing deals. I wanted this call to be very informative and very efficient, being 45 minute, 2 45-minute segments, 1.5 hour call. I wanted to be very informative to the point. I wanted to teach you closing. I wanted to teach you about carving your own story out there and creating your own story. And by the way, if you're going to create a story, put your mind to it and document everything. If you're on the road to $1 million, $1 billion, or whatever you want to achieve in life, document everything. Document everything. Like take that phone out, take that iPhone out and document everything. Take that Samsung out, document everything. Take that Huawei out and document everything. You want to make sure you're on the road to fame. You want to document everything. Document failure. Don't just document the success. The reason why we can pick out images and videos and clips from Sylvester Stallone is purely based on the fact that he documented everything. So I want to talk to you a bit about digital marketing and social media. Okay. Let's move the screen so we can see clearly. Okay. Social media technology. Social media is not about technology. Like, think about it. How have we advanced? Facebook, if it was a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world today. Social media is about relationships. Everything you do online is about relationships. You can meet your best friend online. You can meet your significant other online. You can meet the type of people you want and create and formulate a relationship online. Social media is about people. 50% of the world's population is under 30 years old. Sorry, I was trying to move this little bar on my screen. That's cutting me out on the entire screen. Cool. 50% of the world's population is under 30 years old. Dracula is a serial character, and to them, vampires living in high school. Think about that. The Fortune 500, in 10 years, over 40% of the Fortune 500 will no longer be here. Why? Let's break it down. Let's go to the Fortune 400. In 10 years, over 40% of the Fortune 400, they won't be here too. Fortune 300. Why? Why? Because social media has overtaken pornography as the #1 activity on the web. It's crazy. And I'm pulling out stats, real stats from the world to show you how, if you're not on Instagram, if you're not on Facebook, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on TikTok, if you're not on LinkedIn, if you're not on all of these different platforms, you're killing your career. You're killing your brand. Gone the days where people can say, I'm not good at this, or I'm not tech savvy, or I'm not digital savvy. Well, cool, that's fine, but that's the reason why you go extinct. The Fortune 300, Fortune 400, Fortune 500 too. You know, the traffic, Facebook tops Google's for weekly traffic in the US. It even impacts our offline behavior. Have you ever felt like when you put your phone down after being on your phone so consistently and your subconscious mind is telling you to pick up your phone because you're so used to picking up your phone, opening up and going straight to Instagram, going straight to Facebook? It impacts us as human beings. 1 in 5 couples meet online. 1 in 5 divorces are blamed on Facebook. An education study revealed that online students have outperformed those receiving face-to-face instruction. Everything is moving digital. Kindergartens are learning on iPads, not chalkboards. If Facebook were a country, it'd be the third world's largest country. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google are not welcome in China. 95% of companies using social media for recruitment use LinkedIn. So Malika, this is huge. Do you have a LinkedIn account? Have you created your LinkedIn profile? Are you communicating with people on LinkedIn? Reba, same thing. LinkedIn is your answer because it's free. It's free. It's your own website. Do you know that social media is replacing websites? I mean, I'm not saying don't have a website. I have a website. But where do people go first? Your website or your social media platform? Today, I'm telling you right now, social media will give you more credibility than Google. When someone goes on your profile and they see you have 10, 50, 100,000, 600,000 followers, well, guess what? What's happening? It's more effective and more credible than Google. And new member joins LinkedIn every second. 50% of the mobile internet traffic in the UK for Facebook. Imagine what this means for bad customer experience. 69% of parents are friends with their children on social media. 1.5 million real farmers. 80 million Farmville farmers. Digital. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. If you don't have a YouTube account, go create one. Add something on. I know what you're doing. You're waiting for perfection. You're waiting for greatness. You're waiting for the perfect video, the perfect videographer, the perfect person, the perfect editor to create that content for you. Shift gears. Every minute, 24 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. If Wikipedia were made in a book, it would be 2.25 million pages long, and it would take you over 123 years to read. Word of mouth.
Can
everyone mute their microphone? Can everyone mute their microphone? Word of mouth is on digital steroids. Bing, only 14% trust advertisements. 93% of marketers use social media for business. So let's look at this. Years to reach 50 million users. Radio, 38 years. TV, 13 years. Traditional. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying use it, but diversify. Own all the platforms. Internet, 4 years. Let's get Facebook on the bottom. 100 million users in less than 9 months. We don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. So I got good at one thing, and I want you to get great at one thing. I want you to get great at identifying your business and then branding it online and shifting towards digitalization, because that's where we're moving towards. That's where we're headed. That's the direction we're going to. And I can tell you something. If you don't innovate, if you don't adapt, and if you don't advance, you're going to become extinct. Guys, I want to take about 15 minutes and open up the line, and I want to be able to answer questions. What's on your mind right now? What's on your heart right now? In any aspect, how can I genuinely help you? How can I genuinely help you? Please, on the bottom, if you want to be able to send me a text on the chat, how do you sell yourself? Like an interview or a social event for prospecting? I don't have a business card. I don't have a business card. You know what I do? I tell people, add me on social media. Add me on social media. They go to my Instagram and they click on my Instagram and they see 654,000 followers on Instagram. And when they see 600,000 on Instagram, it's a selling point. But I'm telling you right now, most people don't have 600,000 followers on social media, so they don't have that credibility. But that's cool. They got posts. So when someone follows you, every time you post, they instantly following up where you're going. They're on a journey with you. I don't sell anything else besides me. I don't sell my companies. I sell me. People partnering up with me. If they're partnering up with me, they're partnering up with my companies. Got LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else can we use? Go download a program called Twitter, an app called TikTok. Go download a TikTok. Go play around with TikTok. I'm telling you right now, Facebook will be replaced by LinkedIn. Mark my words. Instagram will be there, but it will be replaced. It'll be there, but the popularity will be replaced by TikTok. TikTok is going to replace Instagram. Hard to believe. It's a debate until it's done. But you gotta understand something. They're always innovating. They're getting 10 times better. Sashin, I have one thing I'm struggling with work full-time and business part-time. Work expects so much of my time after hours. How do you split your time? There's 24 hours in a day. I want you to split into 8, 8, and 8. 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, 8 hours to build your legacy. 24 hours. That's what I want you to do. There's 24 hours. So if you know you're sleeping for 8 hours, you know you're working for 8 hours, it's 16 hours. What are you doing in that other 8 hours? When you start to break that down, you start to realize, hold on, I've got 8 hours. What am I doing with my 8 hours? Am I playing with 8 hours? Am I consuming 8 hours? Am I genuinely going out there and building my legacy for the 8 hours? What am I doing? What are the questions you have for me? I see personal fundraising whilst using social media effectively. So you're gonna understand when you're personal fundraising, will be more specific. What are you raising for? Are you raising for a company? Are you raising for an MPO? What are you raising for? Any other questions? You're raising for yourself. Well, you need to go and find an investor in your business then. And the only way to find an investor is when you have 10, 20, 50, 100% of the business already built up and you have a plan. Don't take an empty plan to them. Take a partially half-finished or quarterly finished plan. It sounds so much better than a dream that's not even started or begun and formulated. I see people making that mistake so often. They take a plan on paper to an investor. You take that to a VC, a venture capitalist, they're not going to invest in your company. They want to see something built or the whole thing built before they start to invest into your company. So how do you build off social? How do you take social media? Well, very simple. Network with people. Use social media to network. You can reach out to any influence in the world, any celebrity in the world, any entrepreneur in the world, anyone that's got the finances in the world. Reach out to them. Reach out to them. 5 more minutes, guys. Any other questions? Any other questions that we can answer? What do you have in your mind? Be very transparent with me. Be very honest with me. I'm here to help you. Type it in the chat. Whether it's here, whether it's on social media, reach out to me. I'm here to help you however I can, wherever I can. By the way, whilst I'm receiving these questions, I need you to understand 2020 has already begun. 2020 has already begun. Not because we're 34 days away from 2020, but because the decisions you would have made in July will determine who you are and what you're going to achieve 6 months later. Who you are and where you are right now is going to determine the decisions you make right now is going to determine Not January 1st, but 6 months from today. Think about that. May 2020. The year's already begun. It's formulated. Don't wait for January 1st. Start today. Do your things today. Execute today. Be ahead of the game to get today. We're going into 2020. I don't want you to plan. I don't want you to plan. I want you to execute. I want you to execute because you never know what's going to shift you towards the right direction. It's like I got this telescope right here at my friend's house. I can't put my eyes in the telescope and expect for the telescope to take me where I want to see. I need to be clear, concise, laser focused on what I want to see. How do you teach? Earlier you mentioned, how do you teach people about delayed gratification? A lot of them see that I'm not yet successful, yet so they think that what I'm doing doesn't exist or doesn't work, even if I show them someone who has made a success of it. Very simple. Delayed gratification is microwave. People want microwave success. So try take your hand, put it in the microwave, close the microwave door and try put 60 seconds. It won't close. So you can't compress time. You can't compress results. Not going to happen overnight. Cast vision. When you cast vision, when people buy into your vision, that's only when people are going to buy into delayed gratification. I need you to understand, this is not an overnight process. Life is not an overnight process. It's a 3-year process for every and anything you do. 1 year, 3 years, 1,000 days, 5 to 7 nights a week, part-time, full-time. Earlier you mentioned during closing about giving information to decide, not to give info to think. Can you elaborate and differentiate between that, please? Information to think is when you give too much of facts. Facts tell, stories sell. When people go out there and they give so much of facts, you burden someone's head. It's like they're going to blow up because you got them so much of information in their head that they don't know what to do. They're naturally inclined to think. And then I give them enough information to base their decision. I give them enough information to solve their problem in life. Do you have an email address we can perhaps reach you on? I need your extensive advice on something that I'm working on. Very simple. Go to my website, www.winwithsashin.com, winwithsashin.com, and reach out to the chat bar there. My team will reach out to me, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. Guys, I want to thank you for being on tonight's Winning Edge call. I appreciate your time. And most importantly, if there's more value I can add in other ways, feel free to reach out to me on social media, to reach out here, whatever it is from me to you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for your time. God bless.